Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. So, what is P0760? The official description is shift, solenoid, C malfunction. In simple terms, your car's brain, the powertrain control module or PCM, has detected a problem with a specific part in your automatic transmission called shift solenoid C. Let's talk about what these solenoids do. Imagine them as little electronic gates inside your transmission. They control the flow of hydraulic fluid, which is what actually makes your gears shift. The PCM sends an electrical signal to a specific solenoid, telling it to open or close. This directs the fluid to the right place, engaging the correct gear for your driving speed. Shift solenoid C is just one of several solenoids responsible for managing these shifts. When the PCM commands a gear change involving solenoid C, it expects to see a specific electrical response and a change in gear ratio. If it doesn't get that expected feedback, it logs the P0760 code and turns on your check engine light. Now, what are the symptoms you might notice? The most obvious one is the check engine light being on, but you'll likely experience some driving issues too. You might find your transmission is stuck in one gear, or it refuses to shift properly. It might feel like it's slipping, hesitating, or shifting harshly between gears. You could also see a decrease in fuel economy because the engine is operating in its most efficient gear range. In some vehicles, the transmission might even go into limp mode, or fail-safe mode, which usually limits you to second or third gear to prevent further damage. So, what are the common culprits behind a P0760 code? The most frequent cause is simply a faulty shift solenoid. Like any electronic part, they can wear out and fail over time. But don't jump to replacing it just yet. The problem could be much simpler. Low or dirty transmission fluid is a big one. If the fluid level is too low, the hydraulic pump can't create enough pressure to operate the solenoids correctly. If the fluid is old and contaminated with debris, it can clog the tiny passages within the solenoid or the valve body, preventing them from working properly. Another common cause is wiring issues. The wires leading to the solenoid can get damaged, corroded, or shorted. This could be inside the transmission pan, where they're exposed to hot fluid, or on the external harness. A poor connection at the transmission connector can also be the problem. Less commonly, the issue might be a clogged internal transmission fluid filter, or even a failing PCM, but these are things you'd investigate after ruling out the more common causes. Alright, let's get into the diagnosis. The first step is always to check your transmission fluid. With the engine running and the transmission in park or neutral check, your owner's manual for the correct procedure pull. The dipstick. Is the fluid level low? Is the fluid dark, brown, or does it smell burnt? If so, you've found a likely contributor to your problem. Low fluid indicates a leak that needs to be found and fixed. Dirty fluid means it's time for a fluid and filter change. If the fluid looks okay, the next step is to inspect the wiring. Check the main connector at the transmission for any bent pins, corrosion, or loose connections. Trace the wiring harness as best you can, looking for any signs of damage, like chafing or breaks. If everything externally looks good, you'll likely need to drop the transmission pan. This will give you access to the solenoids and the internal wiring. You can then visually inspect shift solenoid C and its wiring. A multimeter is your best friend here. You can test the solenoid S resistance and check for continuity in the wiring from the PCM to the solenoid. Your vehicle's service manual will have the specific resistance values you should be looking for. If the solenoid's resistance is out of spec, it's bad and needs to be replaced. If the solenoid and wiring test fine, the problem might be a mechanical blockage in the valve body itself. At this point, the job becomes more complex and might be best left to a professional transmission shop. Fixing the P0760 code usually involves addressing the cause you found. This could be as simple as topping off or changing the transmission fluid and filter. It might involve repairing a damaged wire or cleaning a corroded connector. Or it could mean replacing the shift solenoid itself, which is a common repair. If you do replace the solenoid, it's often a good idea to replace the fluid and filter at the same time. And that's a comprehensive look at the P0760 fault code. It can seem intimidating, but with a logical, step-by-step approach, you can often pinpoint the problem. Remember to always consult your vehicle's specific service manual for procedures and specifications. I hope this video helped you understand what's going on with your vehicle. If it did, please hit that like button. and consider subscribing for more car repair guides. Got a question? Drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.